Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome, my dear students, the heroes of grade 4. Today we are gonna revise concept 1, living systems. We have finished it, alhamdulillah. We have finished the last lesson, amphibians and the human change the environment in the last session. And today we have to revise it and we solve some questions on it. And we have to know that we want you to think like a scientist. We want you to think like a scientist. The new idea of the curriculum and the new way of thinking, new way of learning, that you criticize things that you learn, and you think carefully like a scientist to solve some problems, to create a project. You can make a new thing, you can make an invention, you can make a comment on any lesson you have studied. And this is the way of application, the way of application. The way of application is STEM in action. The meaning of STEM in action. Some students ask me about what is meant by STEM, Mister. What's meant by STEM in action? This is the way of application, what we have studied, how to apply what we have studied in science in the life, and how can we use what we learn to solve problems and to create new things, to invent. Maybe you will be an inventor, or you will be a scientist one day, or a doctor, or an engineer, or a teacher. So you have to think from now. You have to think like a scientist. How to criticize, how to make observation and conclusion and explanation for the natural phenomena around you, and how to make maybe your own comment and your own understanding of a phenomenon that you can see how you learn. So here we have studied, for example, we have studied in this concept living systems. We have studied a lot of lessons, we have studied the adaptation and the way of adaptation in different animals, and also the adaptation in plants also. And we have studied the human digestive system and some animal digestive system. And we have studied also the respiratory system in the human and the respiratory system in the fish. And we have studied also in the last lesson, we have studied how humans change the environment, how the pollution occurs, and how does the pollution affect on the living organisms. It may cause the extinction of some animals. And this also an example about this, the extinction of some animals like amphibians. Some animals are called amphibians. In the last lesson, we have studied how does the pollution affect on them. The water pollution and the air pollution affect on amphibians, and they may expose them for extinction. So we have to think like scientists, how to solve these problems and how to prevent this extinction. So here we have the end of the concept. We always ask you to think like a scientist, to criticize, to make an essay, to make a project. Like I have give you in Classera a project you can do. I give you a project on Classera you can make, inshallah. Think like a scientist and tell us about the adaptation in bats. The adaptation in bats. So I'd like you to search for this project and try to solve it. Try to solve the project in Classera about the bat chat. Our task or our project in this concept, that how the bat chat. I need you to answer something. Discussion room. You have so I ask you to make a project here, a discussion room. You go to the discussion room. Here we have science project, adaptation and survival. the chat. I want you to open this classroom, this chat room, and look at the say what I have sent to you, the project what I have sent to you. Okay, I ask you to make an essay project about the bats and how bats fly. You can answer these questions in your essay, in your project. You can answer these questions. How bats fly, can fly. How can bats fly? How can bats locate things? How can bats locate things? Are bats birds or mammals? Are bats scary animals, or they are friendly or maybe not dangerous? What do bats feed on? What is the food of the bats? And you can talk also in your essay, in your project, about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make the amazing characteristics in bats, talk about some characteristics and some adaptation, structural adaptation and behavioral adaptation in the bats, and how do bats communicate. The last question you can answer, how do bats communicate? I want you all to try to make this a project. Please support. I will help you to make this project by the sessions that I record. You can go to the video courses, and by the worksheets I have done for you and the booklets. You can open the booklets, or you can open the school book, you can open the internet, and you can also open my YouTube channel. Also, it may help you in this project. I want all of you, inshallah, to start making this project. You have maybe 1 week or 2 weeks, at least maximum 2 weeks to make this project. And I'd like to thank some students send me a message like, I love you, teacher or master. This is Suhaib Mustafa. Thank you, Suhaib. Also, I'd like to thank Yusuf Galhoum. Also, he said, I love you, mister. Thank you, my son, Yusuf Galhoum. Thank you, everybody. Now, I leave you to make this project, and we go back again to the science revision on unit concept 1. We are going to solve some questions in this concept. Here we have some questions like this one. Choose the correct answer. The organisms that do not have the methods that help them to adapt to the environment changes. Some organisms don't have the way of adaptation. What do you think? They will increase, they will extinct, they will stay the same, or the diversity of the ecosystem has changed? The biodiversity of the ecosystem has changed. I think you can be the answer will be they will extinct. If the living organisms don't have a way of adaptation, maybe they will die and extinct. Okay. Number 2, the black and the brown fur of bears in tropical habitats help them to hide between trees, do camouflage, hunt animals in their habitat. All the previous. Think carefully. The brown and the black fur of the bears in the tropical habitat. Yes, very good. It makes them hide and make camouflage and hunt the animals. This is all are correct. So the answer will be all of the previous is correct. Okay. Let's move to the next question. Choose aquatic plants like lettuce or lotus. Lotus plant. This lotus plant in Egypt, you know, the old Egyptians have this plant as a symbol for their country. The lotus plant, and the Cairo Tower, for example, has the same shape of the lotus plant. Okay, so the leaves have what leaves to capture as much as possible sunlight. So the leaves of the lotus plant is a lotus plant or lily. Okay, the water lily, flat, wala curly, wala spine, wala no correct. Of course, to absorb more sunlight, it must be flat. It must be flat leaves. Okay. Question number 4, the structural adaptation of pine trees which enable them to let the snow slide is. The structural adaptation in pine trees. No, pine trees live in cold areas. There is a lot of snow and ice, and they have a spine leaves, and these help them to slide. The umbrella-shaped canopy or flat leaves or triangular branches or all of the previous. Think carefully. Think carefully. The structural adaptation in pine trees, which enable them to let the snow slide, not umbrella shape, not flat leaves. Of course, it is triangular. Very good. Triangular branches and spine and the leaves, needle leaves. You know, you remember the pine tree, they have a needle leaves and triangular shape. This help the ice and the snow to slide down and don't accumulate on the plant. Okay, question number 5. All the following are from structural adaptation of panther chameleon, except all the following are from the structural adaptation, except. Okay, let's think carefully about this question. All are structural adaptation except. Okay, V-shaped feet, this is a structure, so we'll not choose it. This is structural adaptation. Coil-like tail, also this is a structural adaptation. Independent eye sight for each one, yes, the eye can move independently from the other eye. One eye can look forward and the other eye can look backward. They move independently. Each eye can move by itself in any different direction. So the change in its scales color, this is a behavioral, not a structural adaptation. So we will choose this answer. The change of the color of the scales. This is a behavioral adaptation, not a structural adaptation. All of the others are structural adaptation, but this one is a behavioral adaptation. So we can cancel this because it is a structural adaptation. We can cancel this also structural adaptation and this also structural adaptation, but this one is not a structural adaptation. Okay. Question number 6. From the methods of structural adaptation of desert plants. Remember, desert plants like cactus, like the desert fig, barley fig, okay, to survive in extreme climate conditions. The climate conditions is very hot. There is shortage of or lack of water. It's very hot and very little amount of water. So what is the adaptation? The structural adaptation. What is the structural adaptation in the desert plants? Structural adaptation. Okay, they have the choices now. They have branched roots or deep roots or store water in their stem. All the previous. They want to have more water, and they want to store water also. Okay, and they also the water is very small, so they need more water. So they have all of these branched roots and deep roots, and they store water in their stem. Okay. Next question. Mangrove trees have strong, long roots in order to. Mangrove, we know that mangrove live in the land which has salty water, and they have long roots in order to eat. Okay, number 1, withstand in the front of strong waves, maybe, absorb shallow water, absorb underground water. All the previous, yes, all the previous, very good, it is correct. Yeah, they have very long roots to withstand in front of the strong waves, also absorb shallow water and absorb the underground water. Next question. Space is or are from the digestive enzymes that help in digestion process. Bile and pancreatic juice, saliva, gastric juice, or the previous. You know, bile and pancreatic juice come from the liver and pancreas. So this is correct. Saliva come from the mouth. Also, this is correct. Gastric juice come from the stomach. And this is correct. So the answer will be all the previous. The answer will be all the previous. Okay. Let's move to another question. The remaining soil wastes are projected out of the body through in the digestive system. The remaining solid wastes expelled outside the body. We get rid of them through what? Through the large intestine or through the stomach or the esophagus or the anus. Of course, I hear you and write the answer. Choose the correct answer. Yeah, very good. Through the anus. We get rid of the solid wastes. We defecate by the help of anus. Very good, my son. Let's move to question number 10. The gases exchange occurs within the space. Gas exchange. We have studied the respiratory system, and we know that the last part of the respiratory system, the end of bronchioles, there is a lot of balloons or a lot of sacs called air sacs, which have another name, alveoli. In the alveoli, there is a lot of blood vessels which make gas exchange with the blood. So the oxygen go to the blood and the carbon dioxide go to the air sac or the alveoli. So the gas exchange happen in the lungs, especially in what part in the lung? Especially in the air sacs or alveoli. Very good. Question number 11. The oxygen pass in the respiratory system is nose, pharynx, trachea, bronchi, alveoli. This is maybe correct, but we have to read the other answers. Okay. Alveoli, pharynx, trachea, bronchi. No, alveoli is not the beginning. The alveoli is the end. Alveoli in the lung. This is the end, not the beginning. So this one is wrong. We can cancel this one. Alveoli also in the beginning, wrong. Bronchi, trachea, pharynx, nose, no. Alveoli in the end. No correct? La, we have a correct answer. We have this correct answer. Very good. The correct answer is nose, pharynx, trachea, bronchi, and finally alveoli in the lungs. The lungs is made up of millions of alveoli, millions of air sacs. So the end of the way of the air in the respiratory system in the lungs or in the alveoli. I bring a question like this in your quiz, if you remember, but I didn't write. I write lungs here. I write lungs, but you have to know that the lungs made up of million of alveoli. The lungs is made up of alveoli, air sacs. So millions of air sacs making what? Making the lung. So if I put here lung, it is correct. Also, this arrangement is correct. If I put here in the end lung, this is correct. If we say here lung, it is correct. Alveoli also is correct. Okay. So the alveoli is the millions of air sacs which make the lung. The end of the way of the air is the lung or the alveoli. This question, I sent it to you in the quiz, and many students solved it correctly. This is the correct pathway of air. Let's move to another question. Carbon dioxide gas is ejected out. Carbon dioxide gas is ejected out the body through. Also, this is in respiratory system. The carbon dioxide is ejected out through what? Inhalation or exhalation or digestion or reproduction. I hear somebody say the correct answer. Very good. When we inhale, when exhale, we throw the carbon dioxide outside the body. Very good. Exhalation is the correct answer. But in inhalation, we take the air in. In exhalation, we get rid of the carbon dioxide out with the air. So the answer is exhalation. Very good, my son. Now move to another question. All of the following are examples of man's interference that causes the environmental pollution except. All of the following examples of man's interference. تدخل الإنسان. Interference يعني تدخل. إنسان بيتدخل في البيئة. A man's interference that causes environmental pollution. يسبب التلوث البيئي. Except حاجة واحدة ما بتعملش كده. Eroding the soil. ولا smokes of cars and factories ولا cutting down trees ولا floods. كل ده بيسبب الاروجن او بيسبب البولوشن. الانسان هو اللي بيعمله ما عدا ايه except the floods. Very good. The floods is natural phenomena. الفيضانات دي ظواهر طبيعيه مش بتدخل الانسان. لكن اللي فاتوا دول كلهم بتدخل الانسان. eroding the soil ان الانسان يجرف التربه يشيل التربه الزراعيه. smokes of the cars الانسان بيعمل smoke of the car. cutting down trees برضه الانسان اللي بيعمل cutting down trees. يبقى الوحيده اللي مش بتدخل الانسان هي ايه؟ floods. اوكي عشان كده بنجاوب على كلمه except. خلي بالك دايما من كلمه ايه؟ except دي بيخليني اختار الحاجه اللي مش ايه مش بتحصل. فالفلود مش هي الانسان اللي بيعملها. طيب question number 14 here. Adaptation methods affect the survival rate of species as what? Read it carefully. Adaptation methods that affect the survival rate of species such as what? Adaptation method reduce the survival rate of species. Reduce the survival rate يعني تقلل من معدل البقاء. هل الادابتيشن يقلل من البقاء؟ اكيد لا. يبقى هنقول على دي wrong. اوكي طيب adaptation method increase the survival rate of species. هنا بقى بنتكلم صح. adaptation method increase the survival. Yes, it is correct. This one is correct. I think this is the correct answer. Very good. طب نقرا الباقي كده نشوف. methods of adaptation change the compositional manifestations of the organisms. لا طبعا مش هي دي تأثير الايه الادابتيشن على السرفايفل. The methods of adaptation change all the behavior acquired by the living organism. برضو مش هي دي الإجابة. يبقى الإجابة بتاعتنا الادابتيشن بيعمل ايه؟ Adaptation method increase the survival rate of species. Is it okay? I think it is easy. I will answer also some complete questions, or then I leave you to solve many questions in your book or in your booklet, in the worksheets. You have many worksheets on Classera. Please try to solve them. Okay? If you go to Classera, you will have a lot of worksheets I have done to you. Please solve them and send me your answers. And try to solve your if you have an extra book like Al-Mu'asir or Al-Adwa, you can solve many questions. Okay, these questions found in Al-Adwa book, you can solve them also. It is very helpful for you. You can solve many questions and send me your answers. I'd like to check it for you, inshallah. So if you solve many questions, you will be better and better. You will be excellent in science. You will love science more. If you solve more, you will be excellent more. And you will love science more. Now you become like a scientist. You don't read only the lesson, but you can solve a lot of questions. You can make essays. You can make a commentary. You can make a project like I have sent to you in Classera. You can make many things, so you can now think like a scientist. This is the new way of thinking, the new aim of the curriculum. The new way and the new aim of the curriculum, to think like a scientist, to apply what you have studied in science and you apply it on your life. Okay, how does it help you in your life, and how can build your thinking and build your imagination. And this is the new aim of the curriculum. This new curriculum is very nice curriculum. If you study it very well by the correct way, inshallah, you will be excellent and from the best students, inshallah. Here we have some questions. Complete. Adaptation in living organisms is classified into space and space. Of course, the answer will be a structural and a behavioral. I will not write it. I leave you to write it by yourself, okay? And send me the answer. Number 2, the heat transfers from vessels that carry space blood under the skin to the vessels that carry space blood under in order to keep the feet of the Arctic animals warm. This is what we have studied in penguin. You know, the heat transfer from the vessels which carry hot blood or warm blood. Here we have warm blood. We have the answer here is A, warm blood, and the vessels carry the warm blood. Okay, carry the blood, this blood to the feet, so they can warm the feet. Okay, and answer A, warm blood. Under the skin to the vessels that carry a very good cold blood to make it warm also. The correct answer here is cold blood. Very good, my son. This is correct answer. Fennec fox has long ears to a long ears in the fennec fox to cool its body. Very good, very good. To cool its body in the hot weather. Very good, because it lives in the desert. It needs to cool its body. Its body temperature and strengthen its essence. Of course, the ear used in a hearing. Very good. Hearing sense. Very good. Increase the hearing sense of the fennec fox. Very good, my son. This is correct. And while Arctic fox has Arctic fox has short legs. Short legs. Very good. And short ears also. Short legs and ears, not legs. And ears. Very good, my son. And ears. To not be cold. Short legs and ears in the fennec, in the Arctic fox. Very good, my son. Yes. This is correct. Counter shading phenomenon in the bull shark. The counter shading phenomenon in the bull shark. You know, the bull shark has two colors. In the back, it has a dark color or a blue dark color, and in the bottom, it has a white color. And this is a way of a structural adaptation. Yes, very good. This is a way of structural adaptation. This is a contrast color or the contrast shading. This is a structural adaptation. Very good, my son. Structural adaptation. Very good. You are correct. A lot of students say structural adaptation. This is correct, my son. Very good. And move to number 5. The digestive system starts with A and end with A. I think it is so easy. Start with mouth. Yes, very good. And end with what? And end with what? And end with anus. Very good, my son. You are excellent. You are excellent. It is so easy. The digestive system start with mouth and end with a anus. Very good. Question number 6. The small intestine is about how many meters? Very good. I think it is 6 meters. Very good. You answer it correctly. 6 meters. Very good. You are excellent, my son. Let's move to another question. During inhalation, the air is rich in what? Gas, which transfer to all body cells. Yeah, the air carry what gas? We need what gas to respire, to burn the food. Very good. Oxygen. We need oxygen. So the air carry oxygen gas. Go to all body parts. Very good. By what? Of course, by the blood. I hear you. By the blood. Very good, my son. The blood is the transportation mean of oxygen and food There is a transportation mean which carry food and oxygen to all body parts, which is the blood. Very good, my son. The two bronchi are divided into spaces within the lungs. Very good. The two bronchi are branched into small bronchioles. Very good. Very good, my son. Bronchioles. Very good, my son. Bronchioles, it is excellent. They branch it into bronchioles. Very good. Excellent, my son. This is correct. The last question today, inshallah, I will finish after this question. The alveoli are surrounded by what? The alveoli, in the end of the lungs, there is air sacs or alveoli. The alveoli surrounded by blood capillaries or blood vessels. Very good. To make gas exchange. Very good. Blood vessels or blood capillaries. Very good, my son. Blood vessels to carry the oxygen to the blood, then can transfer it to all body parts. Very good, my son. I think all questions are easy. I think you can write the first one here, the structural adaptation and behavioral. It is easy also. I can write you if you want me. Structural adaptation and behavioral adaptation. Very good. Structural and behavioral. I will write it for you so you can make the other questions. And behavioral adaptation. This is the answer of complete and choose. I will let you to answer your quiz, and you answer the booklet I sent to you, and you answer the worksheets I sent to you. You answer also, if you have a Muasir book, you can answer. You have to answer many questions, my son, to be the first student and to be excellent student. And you can make also extra work like videos. You can record videos for science. You can explain a lesson for your friends. You have to think like a scientist. You are not an ordinary student. You are a talented student. I have in my classes 4A and 4B excellent students, many excellent students. You can do a lot in science, inshallah. Together we'll be excellent in science. We love science more and more. We will be excellent in science. I'd like to thank you all for your attention and following me. I enjoyed this session with you. I'd like you to make your own question, to answer your own questions, answer many questions in the worksheets in Placera, and also in your book, extra book. If you have extra book like Muasir or Al-Adwa, you can solve many questions, my son, to be excellent more and more, inshallah. Until we meet again in another session. Thank you, everybody, and goodbye. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. I love you all, my sons. Assalamu alaikum.